I heard myself laughing in the kitchen at 3:47 a.m. I know the exact time because I was staring at my phone, unable to sleep, when the sound drifted down the hallway. My own laugh. The one I've heard in recordings, the one that sounds slightly wrong because you never hear your own voice the way others do, but this time I was hearing it from outside my body. I live alone. I've lived alone for 2 years, ever since the divorce. The apartment is small, 1 bedroom, a narrow kitchen, a living room that barely fits a couch. There's nowhere for someone to hide, no roommate I'd forgotten about, just me and the sound of my own laughter coming from a room I wasn't in. I sat frozen in bed, my phone screen casting blue light across my face. The laugh came again, casual and comfortable, like I was in there reading something funny on my phone. Then I heard the refrigerator open. The familiar hum of the seal breaking, the soft clink of bottles shifting. My throat felt tight. I wanted to call out, to demand who was there, but something stopped me, some primal instinct that said, "Don't let it know you can hear it." I eased out of bed, my bare feet silent on the cold floor. The hallway stretched longer than it should have. Every step felt like walking toward a cliff edge in the dark. When I reached the kitchen doorway, I stopped. The refrigerator was closed. The kitchen was empty. A glass of water sat on the counter, one I didn't remember pouring. The apartment was completely silent except for my own breathing, harsh and quick in the stillness. I checked every room, closets, bathroom, behind the shower curtain. Nothing. No one. I even checked the front door, locked from the inside, chain-latched. The windows were sealed shut, painted over by the landlord years ago. I told myself I'd been dreaming, that I'd gotten up for water and forgotten that the laugh was a half-sleep hallucination. The mind does strange things at 3 a.m. I went back to bed and didn't sleep at all. The next evening, I heard myself in the shower while I was sitting at my desk. The water running, my voice humming something tuneless. I crept to the bathroom door and pressed my ear against it. Steam was seeping from under the gap. The water was actually running, and behind it, that humming my voice, but not coming from my throat. I grabbed the door handle. It was locked from the inside. I stood there for 5 minutes, listening to myself shower, listening to the water shut off, listening to the rustling of a towel, then silence. When I finally worked up the courage to grab a screwdriver and pop the lock, the bathroom was empty, dry. The mirror had no fog. The towels were hanging exactly where I'd left them that morning. But the bar of soap was wet. I started keeping my phone recording whenever I left a room. I'd set it on the counter, aimed at the empty space, and walk away. When I played the recordings back, I could see myself entering the frame. Not a stranger. Me. Same height, same build, same clothes I'd worn that day. I watched myself open the cabinets, check the mail, stand at the window looking out at nothing. The timestamp showed it happening while I was in the other room. While I was watching TV, I was also in the kitchen making coffee. While I was brushing my teeth, I was also sitting on the couch scrolling through my phone. I tried to catch it myself in the act. I'd pretend to leave, then rush back. But I was never fast enough. I'd find evidence. A moved chair. A book open to a page I hadn't read. The TV warm like it had just been turned off. Once, I found an indent on the bed, still warm, shaped exactly like my body. My therapist suggested stress, disassociation. She said trauma from the divorce could manifest in strange ways, that I might be experiencing fugue states where I did things and didn't remember. She increased my medication. It didn't help, because I wasn't forgetting. I was fully aware, fully present, while this other version of me lived in the gaps between my attention. Last week, I came home from work and found dinner plated on the table. Pasta, my favorite, still warm. I never cook pasta, I can't stand the texture. But there it was, perfectly prepared, like I'd made it for myself. I picked up the fork and saw something that made my blood stop. There were already bite marks in the food. Someone had started eating, then left. I heard the bedroom door close. My legs moved before my brain caught up. I walked down the hallway, my heart hammering against my ribs. The bedroom door was shut. I never shut it. I stood there, hand hovering over the knob, and heard movement inside. Footsteps. The creak of the bed frame. I opened the door. The room was empty. But the sheets were disturbed, pulled back like someone had just gotten up. And on my nightstand, my own wallet sat open. My driver's license was pulled out, propped against the lamp, facing the bed, like someone had been studying it, learning my face. That night, I didn't sleep in the apartment. I got a hotel room across town and sat on the bed with all the lights on. I thought distance would help. I thought I could escape whatever was happening in that place. At 2:33 a.m., I heard the shower turn on in the hotel bathroom. I haven't heard my own voice since yesterday. Not when I speak. Not when I whisper. Not when I scream. My mouth moves. I can feel my vocal cords vibrating, but no sound comes out. It's like something reached inside me and took it. Took the part of me that proves I exist. But I can hear it everywhere else now. In other rooms. In the walls. On the street behind me. My voice, having conversations I'm not part of, saying things I've never thought, sometimes laughing, sometimes crying, sometimes just breathing. This morning, I saw it, saw myself. I was coming out of a coffee shop, and across the street, I was going in. We made eye contact for just a second. It smiled at me. I don't smile like that. Too wide, too knowing. I tried to follow, but when I got inside, the barista said no one had just entered. She asked what I wanted to order, then paused and tilted her head. She said I'd already been there this morning, had ordered my usual. She seemed confused about why I was back. I checked my bank account. There was a charge from that coffee shop at 7:15 a.m. I was asleep at 7:15 a.m., or I thought I was. I'm watching the recordings now, the ones from my apartment over the past few weeks. I'm going through them frame by frame, and I'm starting to realize something that makes my skin feel too tight. The other me? It's not appearing more often. I'm appearing less. In the earliest videos, I'm in frame 90% of the time. By last week, it was 50-50. In yesterday's footage, I only appear twice. Brief glimpses, almost translucent, like I'm the ghost haunting my own life. It's living my life better than I ever did. It goes to work on time. It calls my mother. It's been going to the gym, I can tell because my body is different in the mirror than it feels from the inside. Stronger. Healthier. I think it's replacing me. Or maybe I'm just finally seeing what was always true. I was never the original. I've been the echo all along, and now the real version is coming back to claim what's theirs. I can barely see my hands anymore when I hold them up to the light. Tonight, I'm going to wait in the apartment. I'm going to sit perfectly still and see what happens when we're both trying to exist in the same space at the same time. Maybe we'll merge. Maybe I'll disappear. Maybe I'll finally understand which one of us is supposed to be here. But here's what terrifies me most. I'm starting to forget which voice is mine. When I think in my head, I can't tell anymore if the thoughts are coming from me or from the thing that sounds exactly like me. What if I'm the intruder? What if I've been stealing someone else's life and they've finally come home? The apartment is quiet now. I'm writing this on my phone, but I can feel someone standing behind me, reading over my shoulder. I can't hear them breathing, but I know they're there. I'm going to turn around now and see myself. And I don't know which one of us will still be here when morning comes.